right, Keith, thank you. Top Michigan state lawmakers and Governor Whitmer, along with Attorney General Dana Nessel and Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin, gathered in Lansing today.
And they're promising the passage of bills that they say would reduce gun violence. Our political reporter, Rachel Louise Just, has more on what happened today at the Capitol.
After two mass school shootings in just 15 months here in the state of Michigan, things have reached a boiling point in the state's capital. Now we see that lawmakers could be just a couple of hours away from passing the first significant gun legislation in Michigan in decades.
In the most ordinary circumstances, we see extraordinary violence.
Michigan has recently seen the tragedies at Oxford and MSU unfolding, taking 7 young lives.
It's coming to a point where you can't even focus on your academics in the classroom setting because in the back of your mind is an anxiety that it might be you next. And now I've aged up and it might be my children next.
Those lost lives leading to a promise from lawmakers to get it done.
We will pass life-saving gun safety policies this year.
Top political figures were joined by former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, who had to relearn how to walk and speak after being shot in the head during a 2011 assassination attempt.
We are living in challenging time. We are up for the challenge.
As one group took to the podium,
my baby, are you listening to us, our babies?
Another took to the bullhorn.
We are going to stand up to tyrants like you.
A small but vocal group of counter-protesters saying any gun measures would infringe on Second Amendment rights. That group yelling at speakers.
All gun laws are unconstitutional.
Even those that were survivors of gun violence themselves.
Absolutely think those people should be jeered. They shouldn't be taken in good faith because they are special interests. They're getting paid way more than any group like the NRA is getting paid.
You don't think a mother of a gun violence victim would be genuinely upset by what she's experienced?
Absolutely, but these groups such as, Moms Demand Action, Everytown for Gun Safety, those ones are being bankrolled by a machine.
In Lansing, Rachel Louise Just.
A series of bills that would implement basic gun measures, including red flag laws, gun storage requirements, and background checks for long guns, have made progress in the now Democratic-led legislature in the last month. The Senate could be voting on some of those bills as early as this week.
Well, first responders flooded Kalamazoo today for a special training exercise. Yeah,
the Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety now says its officers will be better prepared if a tornado were to hit the city. Of course, many remember the devastation caused by a tornado in 1980. Our Autumn Picture is live now at South Burdick Street, where a long vacant building turned into a training center for police, for firefighters, and for EMS.
Andy, Jessica, the practice scenario involved a tornado that touched down in several different locations in Kalamazoo, trapping people inside this building right behind me here on South Burdick Street who needed to be rescued. For the first time, a practice was held for local emergency responders to prepare them for the possibility of a large-scale event happening, such as a tornado.
If people have been around Kalamazoo, they go back to early 80s and know that that's a very realistic possibility.
An operations-level scenario with a tornado touching down in a few locations in Kalamazoo.
We're hoping to learn where our deficiencies are and where we can be better at.
Kalamazoo reaching out for mutual aid from Portage, Ashtimo, and Comstock fire departments.
We were able to go in there and place mannequins.
Mannequins to practice rescues. However, there were a few surprises planned.
We're going to throw in a couple other problems to challenge folks. Realistic injects we'll build in where we'll challenge the teams and get them to integrate a little bit.
Taking the scenario a step further, once responders arrived to the second location, they realized they needed a specialized team, calling in Washtenaw County for support.
We want to see if Kalamazoo doesn't have a piece of equipment, how do we get it from Washtenaw over to where Kalamazoo is working?
Hendrick tells me an assessment is typically conducted prior to sending people in, included in this exercise using these cameras to look at the structural support.
We have to make sure that we set up struts or something to capture that potential movement before we can safely put somebody in there.
Teams then clearing out rubble to rescue the victims, taking advantage of their drone program, which allows them to stream video to their Emergency Operations Command Center.
The drone can come right down and show people miles away exactly what we're looking at, and so that those decisions are driven with really good facts.
Both of the buildings used for the trainings will be torn down. Now, Hendricks says KDPS hopes to host more trainings like this in the near future to be able to work together more efficiently, and they hope to work with Grand Rapids next time.